Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And it's my pleasure to have today with us on Team Racing YouTube Live, Tovaun Anthony. Welcome. Hey Tovaun,
Hey, how's it going?
going pretty well, going pretty great. Great to have you here today.
Good to be here.
Awesome. Hey, we like to start off usually with having our guests give a little introduction and some background as to who they are for our viewers. So go ahead and do
Wow, I'm like the worst at this. So my name is Tovaun Anthony. I go by a stage name Aeoxis. That's really my musician persona, but I have a few projects going down. I have a podcast going on. I run a couple of projects, one where I'm teaching self-defense and things like that on online, and I'm just a guy that does a bit of everything, you know.
I love that. I love that. A jack of all trades. A jack of all trades. Let's talk a little bit about your music persona. You're a rapper, right?
Well, so funny thing, I recently started doing the rap thing again just as a goof. I'm
Ah.
a big fan of martial arts and like the UFC and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I just decided to randomly do a rap about my favorite fighters one day, and I posted it on Twitter, and it just went kablam. And
Oh wow.
I guess I'll do this again. As far as music goes, I do a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was classically trained as a violinist when I was younger,
Ah.
but I got so far away from that. Started playing guitar in high school, and then I really started getting into funk, jazz, and somehow or another, I ended up playing like alternative metal and doing crazy stuff like that. So
Wow, really out there.
yeah, look, it's fun. It's fun.
Well, that speaks to the eclectic nature of who you are as well, though, a little bit of everything. And I know about your podcast. We are really acquainted with Bria, who
Ah, yes.
I know, yes, we're really acquainted with. Tell me about the podcast, Fuck You Mean.
Fuck you mean. So the podcast, really how it started was I just had an idea that I just wanted to get online and talk about stuff. I used to do vlogs and things like that, but
Hmm.
I really wanted to do it with someone, just have some banter, have some fun. And a mutual friend of ours connected us, and when she came on, I was like, no, this has to happen every week. This has to happen every week. I love just talking to her in general. The fact
Hmm.
that she's a comedian and she just
Hmm.
knows so much about things that sometimes I'm blind to. A lot of the times I tend to be in my own world. So
Yes.
it is pretty crazy. And because I come from, a musician's perspective, we're both artists.
Yeah.
We have totally different points of view on things, but it's fun.
And
It's
it
really fun.
works. It works. Yes, I
Mhm.
love it. I mean, Bria is hilarious. We just had her on, I think, for our last edition of Tantalizing Tuesdays, and we've done interviews with her too. She
Mhm.
never fails to crack me up and bring the energy the whole way right through all the time. So I'm sure that's fun. Now, you've also mentioned, that you are into martial arts. You are a martial artist.
Mhm.
Share with us your martial artist journey persona.
So I started my martial arts journey, I guess, when I was about 12 years old. I really wanted to do something. And my it's funny because my mother knew more about me than I knew about me, because I had an interest in basketball, but I really did it because of my older brothers, and I didn't know that was a thing. She was like, no, it looks like you really like this other thing. And so she put me in taekwondo. And just at the time, I really just wanted to do basketball. I wanted to be like Big Brother so much. But
Hmm.
later on, I started to gravitate back towards martial arts, and I started taking up kickboxing and Muay Thai. And it has been it really is a big pillar in my life, because I jumped back into it like at the end of a depressive like era of my life, and
Hmm.
it helped give me a little bit more structure. Not saying that I was out here wilding or anything like that. It was just more like I wanted something that would constantly tax me, but also while I was there, you know, that's my problem. This is my issue. Nothing else going on outside is going to help me with this. I have to
Yeah.
deal with this. So martial arts is definitely it's definitely something that I hold very dear to my heart, and it's something I believe everybody should at least get into. Whatever art you try, so long as you learn some form of self defense, it builds confidence, it keeps you in
Hmm.
shape, things like that. And because of the people I've met and the skills I've learned, over time, I just wanted to share those skills with other people. I know a lot of people don't really when they think about martial arts, they think violence, they think hitting people, all this extra stuff. And I'm like, well, look at it more from the spiritual, perspective and
Hmm.
self-defense perspective. And that's why with when I mentioned earlier that I have a little series about teaching people self-defense, it has like a comical aspect to it because I want people to feel a little more free, where a
Yes.
lot of people think it's so rigid. And I'm like, no, come on, man. When I walked in the gym, like they asked me, okay, do you know anything else? I was like, I don't know anything. Just teach me. Just teach me. And they figured out I was a goofball. And then I found out they were all goofballs, even though
Yeah.
they look like the toughest people in the world. But
Oh, wow, wow.
yeah.
I mean, that's great. That's great. And you have so many passions and you go after all of them, and try to do something within all of that space, and that says a lot. Someone like you, I would assume, would be very adaptive to situations. Tell me how this year, 2020, has been for you, because I feel like it's one of those times, it's one of those years where, people have to really learn to adapt to all the changes that are going around.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. For me, it wasn't too crazy. Luckily, when it comes to just standard stuff like my day job, I'm able to work from home. But when it comes to like other projects, like I had a film project that I couldn't go out and film because everything got shut down like earlier in the year. But because I guess because I'm one of the internet kids and stuff like that, and because I was doing vlogs and I was doing like video game music covers and stuff like that online already, I'm like, okay, I could just keep this going for a little bit. And when things
Hmm.
start to loosen back up, I'll try to get back out there with some other things, networking and stuff like that. I've been doing it online for the longest time because, like I say, I'm an internet kid and I've been a gamer for majority of my life, especially once the internet hit and you were able to have multiplayer games. Yeah,
Yes.
like I was like, okay, this isn't it isn't going to be too crazy for me, but for a while I was wondering why I was getting like the jitters because I was like,
Hmm.
I'm craving actual human interaction here. I need like physical beings in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to that because performing, like that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yes,
And
yes. There's nothing like the rush of performing. There is
oh,
nothing like really just putting it all out there, putting it on the line, and just, performing.
and
There's
giving
just
it your
something
all.
about that. Yes, yes, definitely. As we look towards the future, we're barreling towards 2021. What are you looking forward to? What are your hopes, as we move on to our next year?
Oh man. My hopes. And I'm just well, I guess it all depends on uh how things go, whether things open back up fully or I guess for me, just from a personal level, I'm thinking like, okay, I have all these ideas that I'm working on right now. I just want to be able to get those done. That's really my hopes. As far as like, if I'm looking at it on a grander scale, I just hope, because of this pandemic and like the place it's put people in, I hope they take this time to sort of actually get to know themselves. And by the time that we're out of it, we can move a little bit better as a people.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, 100%. Well, we have come down to the end of this, and before I let you go, I want you to plug anything that you want to plug, your social media, anything you want people to check out, to support, anything like that. So go ahead, you have the floor.
All right. So if you want to follow me and see any of my nonsense, my music, anything like that, just for a laugh or something, follow me on Instagram, any social media platform at Aeoxis, Aeoxis. Also follow the Fuck You Mean podcast at FYM official. No, FYM podcast official. And that's how it is on Twitter and on Instagram. And also, the series that I mentioned earlier, where I comically teach people how to defend themselves in basic fight knowledge, hands up, chin down. Thank you for putting that on the screen. You could just take away the hashtag and put an @ symbol on it, and you'll find it on Instagram.
Want to talk about this?
Oh my goodness. Oh, I feel like I am such a jerk for this. Yes, the virtual VGM Fest. It is happening November 15th, November 15th, I believe. I can't. Why am I saying I believe? Um, I'm so sorry for this. But yeah, the virtual VGM Fest is essentially a virtual VGM festival. VGM stands for video game music,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just gonna have a bunch of video game composers and cover artists that get together and play video game music and have a good time. And for some odd reason, they wanted me on the bill just because I just happen to be a nerd as well. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, some of my music definitely has video game influence.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really why they wanted me to be on the bill. So it should be a good time. But November
Awesome,
15th.
awesome, 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 beautiful. Listen, Tovaun, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such a pleasure getting to chat with you. Thanks so much, and good luck on all your endeavors to come.
Thank you for having me. Love you.
Of course, love you too. And to reviewers, thank you for watching. Bye.